Thanks, Cheena. I'm really excited to be here, and thanks everybody for coming. It's really awesome to come to my first reading in the Bay Area, so it's exciting. So I actually made this chapbook, and Michelle is here. Michelle, are you here? There you are. Okay. Michelle made it with me. We made it together yesterday. So if anyone's interested, let me know. I have some tonight. So I'm going to start by reading the first section of this, which is, the section is called Peanut Butter Cup. I have questions regarding your strategy for speech. What's bright on a sheet of steel? Toothpicks and their reflection? If the sheet is flexed and pops, toothpicks reconfigure as a teepee camped down in a valley. If landscape were time, as in causal chain, duration of trauma, recovery. If landscape were not breadth. If I closed my eyes or was blind, L would come inside, I. L for language, L for landscape, together indistinguishable inside I. One, which is not all ego, because I know where I am in relation to things since I arrived north of my mother, which is not the same as being without ego altogether either, even though I am without boundaries, permeable and indistinguishable from other entities I perceive in my surroundings, such as when there are no entities, only open space in excess, then I am lonesome, I am only I, and when I point behind and through me, pointing east, pointing at my chest, I am also indicating myself. In the romantic movie made by a woman, one lover says the other is his secret country, land of all longings, which echoes indelibly in her and us. Romanticizing the landscape and merging it with the other, imagining the other to encompass it, rather, is to bound the boundless, situating infinite distances, which are the figure for longing, within the other's limitable form. Both directions are asserted, the finite made infinite, the infinite made to end. This symmetry and paradox is the essence of romantic love. I think if I omit enough actual information about what is going on here, I may begin to understand. If I write this or that thing, then go away for a while and forget it completely, then come back and read it over, I will be able to say, is it good, yes or no? I go away and ask myself, what was the plan again? I come back and ask, is it good, and some is. You watch the sunset alone this time, but send large gem-toned pixels like sequins before the dark is even down. So you ask yourself about me and you answer yes, more sure than before. You may also be bored and lonely. Nevertheless, I'm inside your head, and this is the whole point. This is how I become real to you, and by real, I mean unreal, which is how I become important. So I've graduated from the category, perhaps, to the category, perhaps, romance. Romance is the next logical category. Dear Peanut Butter Cup, I think I'll make it. I can't say for sure, but I'm more sure than before. I mean, I miss you, but I'm having a good time. Yours sincerely, perhaps romance. I wonder if my endeavor is too calculated, as I observe the different colors and continuum of light and dark areas in the tableau of your progressive reaction to me. So much space to roam around here, and such slow going, I can think my way through an event during or immediately around its occurrence. When the thought becomes tangled and unproductive, I enjoy its abundant sound anyway, the sound of its excess and failure. I think if I write it down nicely, redundant, inconclusive, and abstract, though it definitely is, I can speak it out loud and it will be worth my while and other people's. I hope with all my heart's chambers I am not the only one, but let me not mention hope. I am always going on about hope where it is a feather, a flake, or a pallet of bricks. Better to say nothing either way. Hope you have a good day, hope you enjoy your vacation, hope you think of me, hope the weather's fine, hope you're not scared on the airplane, hope you return from the woods. I think it is a fine line between a text or speech being a tangle or weave. It is a fine line to walk between what's gratuitous and what's essential, because essence can also be voluminous. There is at most a nice edge between something I'm proud of and something that makes me ashamed, between real and fake abysses. And I don't mean they are similar neighbors or siblings. No, they are as different as light and dark, but there is only saying so to tell them apart. If precision doesn't matter, saying so is easy. You make an argument for something, blue for example, meanwhile orange streams from your mouth. The rock shop was going out of business, so I purchased shaman's marbles and asked, he said they were shamans, and the woman working said word of mouth, which seemed obvious. Then I asked, were they very old? And her eyes were slits looking at me like I had shaman's marbles for brains, and she said, all rocks are old. And she didn't want to talk about the shaman. She hadn't wanted to for a long time. I got a great deal on these shaman's marbles. I thought you would like them. Also crystal dice, fool's gold, and one snail fossil that reminded me of you, creepy darling with the rainbow sheen. When things grow old for millions of years, it helps to think about a spiral instead of a line, where the past is toward the bottom of the spiral. Again into the tunnel, I arrived outside, inside, light. Again into the tunnel, you are inside or you are. Ever heard it so many times in a row with subtle differences, like embroidery without cloth showing because the stitches overlap. Like I invented repetition. Instead of precision, I think about a single line of writing, going around a room, all the way around, making a loop, and having to walk alongside, hugging the walls to read, pacing them out like walking the architectural drawing of the room, blown up to actual size. Dear Peanut Butter Cup, now that you have no form at all, I can't decide if you are nowhere or everywhere. Some days the other pollinators and grass points and I believe there is stuff between us in the field. We keep our shapes regardless for a time. Yours truly, if you still exist, Romance.